Hello the internet, and this is Viperion here, and welcome to a new series. This is modded Minecraft, although it doesn't look too much like it right now. The tree's a bit of a giveaway. This is Resonant Rise, Resonant Rise 3 to be precise. Now I've done a lot of mucking around with adding and subtracting mods, trying to get it to run properly on my somewhat less than ideal computer. Eventually I removed Biomes Aplenty, and that seems to have solved most of my problems. I can actually run around and look around at stuff without huge amounts of lag going on. So far so good. This is my starter chest. A sword, awesome. And a starter pick, even better. And a whole bunch of biofossils to get into the dinosaur mod with. Okay, so as I said, I have pared down the Resonant Rise pack just a little. There are a lot less mods than there are available. I've got it down to 175, so it's not really that pared down. But we're going to run around here. I'm going to try and find a little house for me to live in. Just in the at the start of the game, we've got a little beehive here, which we're going to go have a look at some time. I'm basically going to go through and try and go through each of the mods that are in here. Starting with this mod here, Botania. I've been watching a few videos on this and it seems like a pretty cool mod to get into. Something to be aware of is we have Tinker's tools here. So we have the broadswords and pickaxes and all those sorts of bits and pieces. But I've also installed the Iguana Tweaks mod, which basically means you can't use standard picks and axes and so on. They just don't work. They don't harvest anything. And so, ooh, more berries? More berries. And so getting a sword is actually a pretty big deal in that starter pack, starter chest. Because it's very hard to make a sword until you can mine copper, and you can't mine copper with the first pick that you find. If you see here, if I go to my starter pick, you see skilled level clumsy, mining level stone. So I have 0 of 96 XP in this. I have to mine 96 blocks of stone before I can actually mine any kind of ore at all, which makes things kind of interesting. So I'm going to collect that mystical flower. I'm going to go and find somewhere to hole up for the night, and we will be back in a minute. And we're back. I have spent quite a bit of time mucking around. I discovered on my travels this abandoned ship, which I obviously haven't filled up very much. I've put the room in here. I've patched up the roof and patched up all the holes in the wall so that things can't get in too much. As you probably saw over there, I have a Tinker's setup, finally set up. And at the moment all we have in here is copper and aluminum brass. Now the aluminum brass took me ages to find. I found the copper easily enough. Copper's everywhere, but aluminium is a real pain in the butt to try and find. I've got a roof horse as well. Hello, roof horse. Aluminium generates one, and there is one chunk of aluminium in each chunk, and it took me ages, absolutely ages to find any. And aluminum is or aluminium, depending on where you come from, is the only metal you can use to create casts. You need aluminium and copper together to make aluminum brass, which is what I made this pickaxe head cast with. And the reason I needed that is because I had a flint pickaxe which could only mine up to copper. I couldn't get iron, I couldn't get a lot of things with it. And so I finally found some aluminium, made a head cast, upgraded my pick to copper. So as you can see from here, I now, under mining level which says iron, I can now mine iron. So I went out and got myself some iron ore. I'm about to throw that into the Tinker's furnace as well, and make myself some armor, because as you can see here, I am in lovely leather armor with a glowstone chest plate, which is less than ideal, much less than ideal. Okay, So yeah, we've done some mucking around. Let me show you what we've got so far. We've got our Tinker's stations here, so we've got everything from the crafting table, tool station, and so on and so forth. I'll upgrade this to a tool forge now that I have access to proper metals. We've got a couple of furnaces. We have some stuff, just random bits and pieces. I found this display pedestal, and you can just sort of see floating in there the thing that's in it. If I right click on that, Diamond Wand of Repair, repairs other items when used. It has some durability, 351 out of 360, but you can see here that my broadsword is quite badly used because I have been doing a lot of fighting. And so I think what happens is I pull this in here, and I'm actually going to take my armor off as well because I don't particularly want to repair my armor. So we'll take that all off, and we'll throw that in the chest. So if I get this and I right click, it's repairing something, but I don't know what. It must be repairing my shovel. Alright. What else do I have that can be repaired? Oh, it's repairing this stupid bow. Now it's repairing the shovel, I believe. We'll put the shovel away as well. But every time you right click, it's repairing something that needs repaired. But yeah, here we go. Now it's repairing my sword. What I really want to do is repair my sword. Just like that. And that seems to be all it does. It's from the artifacts mod. It's quite cool. Yeah, I can right click now and it doesn't do anything because everything's at full. This is, because I've been using it so much, it started off slimy and jagged. It's now got writable, fiery and sharpness on it, so it's +7, the same as a diamond sword. Fiery, so it sets mobs on fire. And I am currently at skill level 2. I think, from memory. So when that skill XP goes up to 1176, which is a long way away, it'll go up another level and I'll probably get another modifier, I believe. However, what I'm going to focus on most of the time, you don't really need to see Tinker's Construct. Again, everyone's seen that before. I'm just derping around here. I will be building a house out on that plain over there at some point. But what I'm going to play around with to begin with is this, the Botania mod with the mystical flowers. It's quite cool. It takes a little bit of setup to get everything working. It's all about mana generation, and there's some quite cool items you can get out of it. So I'm going to start working on all that stuff. I'm going to smelt up my iron in here so I can get iron armor and so on and so forth. And I'll be back shortly. Okay, we're back. I've done a little bit of work. I have created myself a room. It is not much more than a room really, out here by the boat. The boat's over that way. So I've moved out of the boat, moved everything into here. I've been experimenting with the Eureka mod. This thing's kind of interesting. It's like an ore doubler, and these are furnaci, but I don't think they're particularly good. But that's beside the point. I've got myself a little forestry set up here because I'm going to need a lot of wood shortly, and we're going to muck around with the Botania mod in this little area in here. Now in my inventory, just do some eating. In my inventory I have all of the Botania bits and pieces. So you pick up these mystical white or mystical flowers. There's one of every colour, so there's 16 of them. I haven't particularly gone out looking for these. These are just what I've picked up around the place. And so you can see here I think I've got at least one of every colour. I'm pretty sure that I do. I've also got a couple of extra seeds and stuff because I've just been doing some dirt clearing. Other things in the Botania mod, we've got this flower pouch. If I do that, then you see how you make it. So it's just wool and a mystical petal. Now mystical petal is as simple as putting a mystical flower in here, and you always get 2 petals out of it, and you get the same colour petal as the plant that you put in. So that's just wool and a single petal. And what that will do is, if it's in your inventory but not in your hotbar, I've discovered, if you break a mystical flower in the world, it will put it straight into the flower pouch. And if I put it on the hotbar and select it, you'll see that it has a space for every different kind of flower that there is. So I'm just going to put all these in here for the time being because we're not going to need them straight away, and it clears my inventory quite nicely. Which one did we miss? That one. Is that everything? Yeah, that's everything. I also found one Black Lotus. Now, I play Magic, the card game, and Black Lotus, of course, is the most expensive card in Magic. I assume this is a shout out to that. What this does is it produces a large amount of mana when we get into mana generation, so I'm going to save that for later. I also have here a pestle and mortar, and again, if I show you how to make that, it's just a stick, any kind of planks, and a wooden bowl, and you get this pestle and mortar. And what that is used for is, if I put this down on my hotbar and grab a flower of some kind, if you put the pestle and mortar, and do you do it with the flower? No, you do it with the petal. So I've got an extra petal here, so you can do that and it will make a die. Now there are a number of things that you can use that die for. You can use it just like a normal Minecraft die, and so I've got essentially access to all of the different colours. Put that flower back in there. All the different colours if I needed to dye something, so that's quite good. However, to start with in Botania, you're going to need this, the Lexica Botania, and that's as simple as, again, if I do that, put that in there, any sapling and a book will get you the Lexica Botania. And it's a book like any other book. You can read it. It is rather comprehensive. There is a lot of stuff to get through here, all these bits and pieces. What we're going to concentrate on today is the basics. We're going to make a petal apothecary, which lets us make all the different kinds of flowers. So I've got those 16 different kinds of flowers in here. You use the petals and various other bits and pieces that you craft to make flowers, and you have things like generating flora, which make mana for you, and functional flora, which do things for you. Now hopefully by the end of this episode we're going to have one of these, a jaded amaranthus. What a jaded amaranthus does is you plant it, you have to runes of earth and redstone roots and things into your petal apothecary, and that's how you make the petal apothecary. 2 slabs, 4 cobblestone, and any petal. So you go back into there, oops, we'll go back, there we go. And what the jaded amaranthus does is you plant it in the ground, you give it some mana, and then it will create more mystical flowers for you. So that's where we're hoping to get to by the end of this. So the first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to create a apothecary. Now here I have this crafting kit. This is quite a cool thing too. It's basically a portable crafting table. It's just 3 planks and a stick. But rather than placing it down, you just right click and you get a crafting grid. Very handy sort of thing. So I'm just going to make some slabs, and then I'll go slab, slab. Ooh, what's that? Cobblestone. Didn't know you could do that. 4 cobblestone and 1 flower. Petal apothecary. And we're just going to plunk that down. Let's put it here. We'll be using this a lot. We'll put that down there. Now that needs water, and I didn't bring my bucket with me, so I'll just go and find my bucket. I know I have one somewhere. We're also going to get into storage. Oh, maybe I haven't made a bucket yet. No, apparently not. Alright. I wonder if you can make an aluminium bucket. Let's find out. No, apparently you can't. I'll throw that in there. Alright, so we'll put that back in this chest. Can you make a copper bucket? No. Does it have to be iron, does it? Okay, I think I have some iron around here somewhere. I accidentally made an extra pair of leggings. We have 2 iron. I don't think we have any iron ore. Alright, I'm just going to go and make myself a bucket, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I have a bucket. I've just made a little infinite water source here so I can refill this, and you can put the water into there. So this is where you make all of the other flowers. Now, the first thing that you need to make here is a flower that converts all of your wood to living wood. Living wood? I'm pretty sure it's living wood. And rock to living rock. So if we have a look at here, if we go basics and mechanics, and we go to the, no, maybe it's mana manipulation. Where are we looking? Yeah. Generating flora. Functional flora. I'm really sure that's what we're looking for. Or possibly not. Oh boy. I'm sure it would be under pure daisy, that's what I'm looking for. The most basic but also the most important flower a botanist can have. It'll purify any adjacent wood and stone, as seen on the next page, into their purified counterparts, living wood and living rock, which can be used for crafting. Now what these are for is when you're actually generating mana, you need to put that mana into mana pools, and mana pools are made of living rock. And the way that you put them in there is by a mana spreader, which is made with living wood. And so you can see there that you've got the flower. And living wood can be turned into twigs, yada yada yada. Alright, so to find the recipe for the pure daisy, hopefully I can go into here, I think, and do this, and do that. There we go. So in the petal apothecary it is 4 mystical white petals. Now as it happens, I only have... I will be right back. Okay, so what that was a special zombie mob, one that can levitate you up into the air and drop you down. I just killed him, and he dropped the book. An enchanted book of efficiency 3 and some rotten flesh. I don't care about the rotten flesh. Interesting. I've run into those from time to time. One of them killed me quite considerably. I ran into it was a zombie who laid down spider webs so that you couldn't get away, and then it burned you and poisoned you and life drained you, and it was most unpleasant. But anyway, that's beside the point. As I was saying, I only have 2 mystical white flowers, so that gives me exactly 4 petals, which is what I need. So I need 4 petals, and I also need some just basic seeds, which I think I have floating around in here somewhere. Camellia seeds, beetroot seeds, barley seeds, more camellia seeds, more beetroot seeds, there we go. So we're going to need a few more of these as well. But that's alright, we'll get there. So what you do is you simply throw these things into the petal apothecary. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then throw the seeds in, you see now I have a pure daisy. Now the way the pure daisy works is I just put it down here like this, and then I get, say, some wood, and put the wood, put the wood around it, and it works in all 8 directions. A little bit of lag there. And then after a certain amount of time, the wood will transform into that. So I won't make you watch that. You can see the particles there. So I will get back to you when this transforms. Here goes the first one, and the others shouldn't be too far behind. And that turns that into living wood, which you can just harvest like any other kind of wood. Now I'm going to do that again, and that didn't take too long. I think it took about a minute or so in total. It might not have even been that long. So I'm going to keep doing that, but in the meantime we're going to look up the recipe for a mana spreader. That's this guy here. The most important component in manipulating mana. This is the block that allows mana to travel from point A to point B. And where's the recipe? Here's the recipe. So it is 6 living wood. It's a gold ingot. That's an issue. I don't have any gold yet. And a petal of some variety. So I'm going to have to go find some gold. I shall be right back. Okay, so we're back from a quick mining trip, and I got a whole bunch of lapis. 41 gold, which is good because that's exactly what I was looking for, and we picked up tin and silver and iron and a piece of osmium, some of which I've never used before, so That's quite cool. Now this gold ore is fantastic. What this is a basic duster, and what you do is you put something on there and you literally jump up and down on it like this, and you got to jump 8 times, and you get 2 gold dust, and then you can smelt that in the smeltery, either in the Tinker's Construct smeltery or the furnace, and you'll get a gold ingot. So basically it's an ore doubler without having to use any hello, I have a visitor. Without having to use any lava. Let me deal with this guy. Where are you? You're around there. The fact that you're not... Go away, you're not wanted. So I'm going to get myself some gold ingots, and I'll be right back. Just while I'm waiting for my gold to smelt up, the pure flower, what is it? Pure daisy also converts cobblestone, I think it's cobblestone, or it might have to be stone, into living rock. So we'll find out in a minute. I will see if that converts, and if so, I will be back. Okay, so we're back. I have 32 gold now, and it's not cobblestone, it is stone that you need to do it with. And that will make some living rock. So while that's doing that, let's go ahead and craft ourselves, oops, not that, craft ourselves a mana spreader. So there's 2 kinds, there's a redstone and a normal one. We're just going to use the normal one for now. So we'll do that, and if I do, now I'm still trying to figure out this NEI thing. If I do this, no, if I do that, oh, what's that? Red stringed spoofer. Okay, sure. I think there's some way of getting that recipe into here, but anyway, it is one of, I'm going to need a petal. Let's get some petals first. Need to go back and get my flowers. I'm organised, really, I am. So I put everything back in here before I went on my caving expedition. Alright, so we'll just pick whatever we have the most of, which looks to be these ones here, so we'll get one of those, convert that into petals, and then we go 6 living wood, and a gold, and a petal, and we have a mana spreader. And you can turn living wood into living wood planks, and you can build with it and do all that sort of stuff as well. Now, have we got living rock? We do! We missed the transformation process, but now we have living rock. And what you can do with the living rock is make a mana pool. Now, as far as I remember the recipe for a mana pool, it is simply this. There we go, just like that. And that's a diluted mana pool, which is more than enough for what we're going to start with here. So what the mana spreader does is it pulls mana from the mana generating flowers around it, and it will shoot it into a mana collector of some kind. Now we're going to use this diluted mana pool as our first mana collector. So the question then becomes, well, how do you generate mana? And the easiest way of doing that is with a couple of flowers called a daybloom and a nightshade. So let's have a look at those from here. So we go into our Botania, and we go to generating flora, and we have dayblooms. Simply put, it performs a modified photosynthesis process in order to transform sunlight into mana. And the recipe is that. So it's 2 yellows, an orange, and a light blue. The other one we have, so 2 yellows, orange, and light blue. The other one we have is a nightshade, which does exactly the same thing, except it generates during the dark. And it's a grey, 2 blacks, and a purple. So we already have the light blue, and we need orange, and we need black, and grey. Where's grey? There's grey. And yes, I've already forgotten the other ones I need. So we need purple, grey and black, and orange, light blue and yellow. So we've got orange, light blue and yellow and blue, black, sorry, grey and purple. So we'll go ahead and convert all of these into petals. We will use them all eventually anyway, so there's not a huge loss by doing this. Convert all those, convert all those, convert all those, and we already have that one. And of course we'll need 2 seeds, or we'll need many more than 2 seeds because we're going to make many of these flowers. But we'll throw all these on our bar. That's all we need there, and so we'll go ahead and make these. Is it getting dark? It is getting dark. Let me sleep here for a second. I don't really want to do this in the dark. Okay, alright, so let's head out here to our bucket. I'm going to need the bucket. So we refill our apothecary here, and we go blue, orange, orange. No, if I shift right click with an empty hand I think it takes it out. So it's orange and 2 yellow, and then the seeds, and we get the day bloom. Yay! And then we can refill this again, and if we go black, black, grey, purple and a seed, we get the nightshade. And you can put these down. These are flowers. You can put them down anywhere you like. We're going to put it over here. So we'll put the nightshade and the day bloom, and they will just sit there generating mana. And that mana doesn't actually do anything at this point. You can see that the day bloom has these things coming off it because it is currently daytime, so it's generating mana. If we put the mana spreader next to these things, and we'll put the mana pool here as well, so we've just put the mana spreader, I'm going to put it on top of this, and then we've put the mana pool, let's say, we'll put it beside here. We'll put it there. Now these aren't automatically connected to each other. To do that we need to make a twig, or a wand of the forest I believe it's called. So if we go back here to our basics and we go to the wand of the forest, there it is. And so we need 3 living wood twigs and 2 petals of any kind, and they will actually show on here as well. So to make a living wood twig, it's just simply 2 living wood. So we need 3 of those, so we need 6 living wood. How much do we currently have? We've got 10, fantastic. So we'll make 1, 2, 3 living wood twigs. And we have a couple of petals left over. And so we'll get our crafting table here. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, and let's have an orange and a purple. And that gives us our wand of the forest. Okay, now there's 2 things the wands of the forest do. When you hold it, it shows you any mana that is being generated. So this mana spreader is automatically picking up the mana from this day bloom, and it currently, because of the way it's pointing, it's shooting it out to here. Now this spot here is where mana starts losing. So if there's it can shoot out quite some distance. I'm not sure how far it will go, but past this point you'll start losing mana. But the other thing you can do is this: is you can right click on this, and it will show you how much mana is stored in it. So you can see there is a little bit, and if I right click on that, there is nothing there. So then to link these together, I believe I shift left click on this and shift left click. No. Let me look up the book. Hang on a second. Alrighty, so if we go back here, bind mode and function mode. In bind mode it can be shift right click on a compatible block to select it. Shift right clicking elsewhere binds the 2 blocks. That's what I thought I was doing. Alright, so if we're in function mode. Bind mode. Okay, so shift right click on this and shift right click on this, and you'll see now that it's pointing towards it, and it will take all of the mana that is currently in this. So if we have a look at this, you'll see that that will be going down, and it will be filling this mana pool. It does take a little bit of time. And so what you can do here is this picks up mana from quite some area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch more day blooms and nightshades as much as I can, and then we're going to put all that mana into there, and then we can start using the mana for other things. But I'm going to do a little bit more research, and you'll see here when I'm not holding the wand, those particle effects disappear. So I'm not too concerned about lag at the moment. You see now that there is some mana in the mana pool. Even the diluted mana pool, this little one here, holds a massive amount for the amount of mana that we're going to be using at the moment. Now the reason we're collecting mana is the Jaded Amaranthus that we want to get to, which is in our functional flora here. Jaded Amaranthus, it needs to be fed mana from a mana pool in order for it to grow the flowers. And so once we have our Jaded Amaranthus sorted out, oh, that's cool, I didn't notice that before. Once we have our Jaded Amaranthus sorted out, it will just grow more and more and more mystic flowers for us, and then we can make more of these, and we can make more of these, and we can make all the other bits and pieces that go into this pack. So for now, I think I will go and I'll make some more nightshades and dayblooms, mostly dayblooms because I do tend to sleep through the night, although the nightshades, it's worth saying, will generate mana in the dark. It doesn't have to be night, it just has to be dark, so you can actually put these below ground and they'll quite happily generate mana from there. So I'm going to do a little bit more stuff and things, and I will be right back. Okay, we're back, and I run into a slight issue. In order to make the Jaded Amaranthus, I need to make a Rune of Spring. Now in order to make a Rune of Spring, I need a runic altar, which is fine, I can make that. However, the Rune of Spring requires the Rune of Fire and the Rune of Water, and the Rune of Fire requires nether brick and nether wart, which means a trip into the nether. I've had a quick look around this pack, and I can't see any way of making nether wart or nether bricks, without going into the nether. Obviously, to make a nether brick, I just need a single piece of netherrack, and that should be fairly easy to come by. However, finding nether wart might be a little bit difficult. So I'm going to make as much as I can, and then I'm going to dive into the nether, and we'll see if I survive it, which could be vaguely interesting. So I'm going to get ready for that, and I will be back in a second. News is I survived the nether. The bad news, and got some netherrack, and I picked up a spawn egg for a skeleton, which I think we might better do something with, and some nether quartz, but I didn't find any nether wart anywhere, so I think we're going to leave it for that episode today. I'm going to go back into the nether a bit later on when I'm a bit more geared up. I also managed to get my pickaxe upgraded to steel, so now I can mine obsidian, which is how I made the nether portal. So we'll leave it for this time. We didn't get to the Jaded Amaranthus, but next time. We will see you later. Bye bye.